I'm on the top rung of the evolutionary ladder. So can it, all right?
You probably remember this ending. The explosions, the massive bug creature, the action-packed climax that had everyone on the edge of their seats. But what if I told you this entire ending almost never existed, but the production spent another $4.5 million reshooting something completely different from what they had before? Or Will Smith's most disgusting scene. Those aren't bug guts at all. And there's a reason actor Vincent D'Onofrio literally couldn't sleep for 24 hours straight just because of one little scene. Today, we're counting down the 20 weirdest facts about Men in Black that completely change how you see this sci-fi classic. From literally the king of pop who fought to steal roles, to on-screen details hiding in plain sight. So get ready, because after this, you'll never watch Men in Black the same way again. Number 20, the Guggenheim Museum. The famous chase scene at the Guggenheim Museum almost never happened. The production originally planned to film at Lincoln Center. Everything was scheduled, the crew was ready. Then, the New York Philharmonic demanded payment for using their buildings. Director Barry Sonnenfeld refused to pay. So, with just days to spare, they scrambled to find a replacement location. The Guggenheim Museum agreed to let them film, and that iconic spiral chase was born from pure necessity. One greedy orchestra accidentally created one of the most visually stunning sequences in the movie. Number 19. The Bug's scream comes from Spider-Man. When Edgar the Bug screams, that sound might feel familiar. That's because it was recycled 10 years later. The exact same scream was reused for Venom in Spider-Man 3. The sound designers literally took the audio file from Men in Black and dropped it into another alien character a decade later. So when you watch Spider-Man 3 and hear Venom roar, you're actually hearing Edgar the Bug from 1997. Number 18. Jeeb's wonky eye. When Agent K blows off Jeeb's head, pay close attention to his wonky eye. Watch this. First, Jeeb's wonky eye is on the left. But then, when Agent K blows off Jeeb's head, his head regenerates, but places his wonky eye on the right side, meaning his wonky eye has switched places. It's such a subtle detail that most people watch this scene multiple times and never notice. But once you see it, you'll never unsee it. And speaking of details you've been missing, number 17, secret aliens. When Zed briefs the new recruits, there's a monitor in the background displaying known aliens living among us. Most people glance at it and move on, but pause that screen and you'll spot some very famous faces. Steven Spielberg, executive producer of this very film, is labeled as an alien. So is George Lucas, creator of Star Wars. Sylvester Stallone, Danny DeVito, even director Barry Sonnenfeld put himself on the list. But the best Easter egg? Jay's third-grade teacher from Philadelphia is revealed to be an alien. West Philadelphia, perhaps, where a certain Fresh Prince spent his youth? That's right. The movie is casually suggesting that Will Smith's own Fresh Prince backstory involved alien interference. Number 16. Star Wars reference.
Our weapons in view of the public.
Man, we ain't got time for this cover-up bullshit.
Agent K drops a Star Wars reference so subtle that most fans miss it completely. When describing dangerous alien weapons, he mentions Corellian death rays. Corellia is Han Solo's home planet in Star Wars. K literally name-drops a location from a completely different sci-fi universe, and nobody questions it. But that's not the only Star Wars connection. The worm guys having coffee? They're speaking Huttese, the language Jabba the Hutt speaks in Star Wars. Men in Black is packed with sci-fi references, and Star Wars is woven throughout. Number 15. Surviving victim. Remember the guy in the morgue who got attacked by the bug and slimed to the ceiling? Everyone assumes he died. He didn't. That same character shows up in Men in Black 2 as the owner of a video store. The movie never explains how he survived or why he's now selling DVDs. But there he is, alive, employed. That explains why he says,
"Still think I'm paranoid?"
It's one of the strangest continuity nods in the franchise. And if you think that's strange, the next fact gets even weirder. Number 14. Elmore Rual Torn hated the script and rewrote it. Agent Zed's deadpan humor is iconic. Every line is perfectly delivered with that stone-cold stare. And here's the secret, almost none of it was in the script. Elmore Rual Torn thought his dialogue wasn't funny, so he decided to just ad-lib his own lines on set. Director Barry Sonnenfeld didn't mind. He actually preferred Torn's improvisations, and Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones enjoyed the challenge of trying not to laugh while their co-star was rewriting scenes on the spot. So when you watch Agent Zed deliver those perfectly timed jokes, you're watching an actor who literally rejected the screenplay and made up something better on the spot. Number 13, Fiorentina won her role playing poker. Dr. Laurel Weaver plays a crucial role in the movie, but Linda Fiorentino almost didn't get cast. So how did she land the part? She beat director Barry Sonnenfeld in a poker game. That's right, the casting decision came down to cards. Fiorentino sat across from Sonnenfeld, raised the stakes, and walked away with the role. It's one of the most unconventional casting stories in Hollywood history. Number 12, safety check. Watch the shooting range test carefully. After the test ends, all the applicants immediately place their weapons on the stand and follow Zed, except Jay. He's the only one who double checks if the safety is on before laying it down. It's a tiny detail, but it tells you everything about why Agent K chose him. While everyone else treated the weapon carelessly, Jay showed discipline and awareness. That split-second choice is why he became a man in black. Number 11, Ray-Ban sales exploded.
I am just a figment of your imagination.
The black suits and sunglasses became instantly iconic, but there's a business story behind those Ray-Bans. Before Men in Black, Ray-Ban was earning about $1.6 million annually from those specific Predator 2 sunglasses. But after the movie was released, sales jumped to over $5 million. That's more than triple the revenue, just from one film appearance. Ray-Ban didn't even pay for product placement. They just let the production use their sunglasses, and it turned into one of the most successful unintentional marketing campaigns in history. Every kid in 1997 wanted to be a man in black, and Ray-Ban made sure they could buy the look. Number 10, David Schwimmer almost played Agent J. It's impossible to imagine anyone other than Will Smith as Agent J, but the studio originally wanted David Schwimmer from Friends. This was 1996. Friends was at its peak. Schwimmer was a household name, and the studio thought his comedic timing would be perfect for the role. There was just one problem. Barry Sonnenfeld's wife was a huge fan of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. She convinced Sonnenfeld that Will Smith was the right choice. Sonnenfeld fought the studio, and when they finally agreed to meet with Schwimmer, Sonnenfeld reportedly told him the film wasn't going to be very good. Schwimmer walked away. Smith got the part, and the rest is history. Could you imagine Ross from Friends chasing aliens instead? But it gets weirder, because this isn't even the only role that didn't go as planned. Number 9, Clint Eastwood turned down Agent K. Agent K is Tommy Lee Jones' role, but he also wasn't the first choice. The studio originally wanted Clint Eastwood. Think about it. Dirty Harry as a man in black. The ultimate tough guy with a neuralizer. Eastwood read the script and turned it down. No explanation, just a simple no. So the production moved on to Tommy Lee Jones, who brought an entirely different energy to the set. Less gunslinger, more exhausted government agent who's seen enough. And honestly, Jones was perfect. But it's wild to think we almost got Clint Eastwood staring down aliens. Number 8, leg braces and insect documentaries. Vincent D'Onofrio's performance as Edgar the Bug is terrifying, but that creepy, stiff-legged walk, that wasn't natural. D'Onofrio wore basketball knee braces under his pants so his legs physically couldn't bend properly. He also taped his ankles so they wouldn't flex. He walked like a creature trying to figure out human joints because his body was literally restricted. But D'Onofrio didn't stop there. He watched hours of insect documentaries to study how bugs move. He wanted to understand their body language, their aggression, their predatory nature. And director Barry Sonnenfeld gave him 0 acting notes. No direction on how to play an alien bug wearing human skin. D'Onofrio just figured it out himself. The result? One of the most unsettling villain performances in sci-fi history. And he did it by torturing his own body and studying cockroaches. But that's nothing compared to what he endured during one particular scene. But more on that later. Number 7, Quentin Tarantino and John Landis both refused to direct. Before Barry Sonnenfeld signed on, the studio approached multiple big-name directors. Quentin Tarantino said no. Fresh off Pulp Fiction, he had 0 interest in a sci-fi comedy about secret agents. John Landis also turned it down. His reason? The black suits and sunglasses reminded him too much of the Blues Brothers. He'd already made that movie. He didn't want to do it again with aliens. The studio kept searching until they landed on Sonnenfeld, who just directed the Addams Family movies. They wanted that same dark, quirky humor, and it worked. But Men in Black almost had a completely different visual style under Tarantino or Landis. Number 6, Too Small Head. Special effects legend Rick Baker built a full-size animatronic Edgar the Bug for the original ending. It was massive, detailed, terrifying. But there was one problem. Its head was too small to swallow Tommy Lee Jones. The original ending required the bug to eat Agent K. The animatronic couldn't physically do it. The mechanics didn't work. The proportions were wrong. So after spending all that time and money building a practical creature, they scrapped it and went full CGI for the reshoot. That animatronic bug still exists somewhere in storage, a masterpiece that never made it to screen because it couldn't fit a human in its mouth. And before we're going into the top 5, leave a like and subscribe, because we haven't even talked about the $4.5 million reshoot yet. Number 5, Michael Jackson. Men in Black made Will Smith a global superstar. But one person watched the film and thought he could do better. That person is Michael Jackson. The king of pop loved Men in Black so much that when the sequel was being planned, he approached Sony with an offer. He would play a major role in Men in Black 2 completely for free, no salary. There was just one condition. They had to fire Will Smith and make Michael Jackson the star of the franchise. Sony executives listened politely, then laughed him out of the room. You can't fire the guy who made the first movie a hit just because Michael Jackson wants to take his job. So Jackson got a tiny cameo in Men in Black 2 instead. One scene, barely memorable. But imagine if Sony had said yes. Imagine Michael Jackson in the black suit and sunglasses doing the moonwalk while chasing aliens. Number 4, glued shut for 6 hours daily. Playing Edgar the Bug wasn't just about wearing a costume. It was physical torture. Every single day of filming, Vincent D'Onofrio sat in the makeup chair for 6 hours while artists built layers of rotting flesh onto his face. His eyelids were literally glued shut during the process. He couldn't see, couldn't move, just sat there in darkness while they applied prosthetics. And in one scene, D'Onofrio didn't wait for the effects team. He just grabbed the latex facepiece and ripped it off himself. The VFX supervisor kept telling him to pull harder. So on the final take, D'Onofrio yanked until the makeup completely tore off his face. That brutal stretching shot, that's real. That's an actor physically ripping prosthetics off his own skin. And as the movie progresses, Edgar's body decomposes more and more. By the end, his tooth is dangling by a thread of fake flesh. Every frame of decay required 6 hours in the makeup chair. But that still wasn't even the worst part of what D'Onofrio went through. Number 3, mustard packets. When Agent J stomps on cockroaches to get Edgar's attention, it looks brutally real. The crunch, the splatter, the yellow guts spraying across the floor. Here's why. Will Smith was actually stomping on live cockroaches. The production needed real bugs for authenticity, so they brought in dozens of cockroaches and Smith crushed them take after take. But there was a problem. Real bug guts don't show up well on camera. They're too dark, too small. So the crew taped yellow mustard packets to the bottom of Will Smith's shoes. Every time he stomped down, the packets burst and sent bright yellow innards spraying everywhere. It looked like alien bug juice. It was just French's mustard. And because the American Humane Society was monitoring the set, they had to account for every single cockroach. After filming wrapped, the crew dismantled the entire set piece by piece to find and count every bug. They had to prove none were lost or harmed unnecessarily. So yes, Will Smith really crushed roaches, but every gross splatter, pure condiment magic. Number 2, sugar water. This scene became legendary. Edgar the Bug, wearing a farmer's skin like a badly fitted suit, desperately gulping down sugar water to keep his disguise from rotting. But most people don't know the truth. Vincent D'Onofrio was actually drinking real sugar water, glass after glass after glass. The scene required multiple takes, different camera angles, reshoots, pickup shots. By the end of the day, D'Onofrio had consumed over 10 full glasses of sugar water, and then the sugar hit him like a freight train. D'Onofrio later admitted that by the time they wrapped, he was so jacked up on sugar he couldn't sleep for 24 hours. Jittery, sweating, heart racing, completely wired. He spent the entire night awake, unable to come down from the sugar high, all because he insisted on using real sugar water for authenticity. Most actors would have faked it. D'Onofrio drank it for real and suffered the consequences. So every time you watch Edgar stumble around that kitchen demanding more, remember, that actor literally couldn't sleep, just for your entertainment. But as intense as that was, nothing compares to what happened to the movie's ending. Number 1, $4.5 million reshoot. The ending you saw in theaters? The massive action climax with explosions and the giant bug creature? That entire scene wasn't supposed to exist. Filming began in March 1996. 5 months into production, the movie had a completely different ending. In the original version, Agent J and Edgar the Bug had a funny, philosophical debate, a Douglas Adams-style existential conversation about life, the universe, and humanity's place in the cosmos. It was clever, it was thoughtful, it was weird. And then the studio executives watched it and panicked. We need more action, more big guns, explosions. So they made a decision that changed everything. They threw out the entire ending, completely scrapped 5 months of work, hired new writers, redesigned the creature for full CGI, and then they spent an extra $4.5 million reshooting the climax from scratch. That's not a minor adjustment. That's nearly a third of some entire movie budgets in 1997. But the studio was terrified. They'd invested $90 million into Men in Black. They couldn't let it end with a conversation, so they built new sets, brought the cast and crew back, and created the explosive finale that audiences loved. Director Barry Sonnenfeld later called it the best $4.5 million I ever spent. And it worked. Men in Black made $84 million in its first 5 days and became the third highest grossing film of 1997. But here's the question nobody can answer. Would the original philosophical ending have been better? We'll never know. That footage was either destroyed or locked away, never to be seen. The Men in Black you know and love almost ended with a debate about existence instead of a bug exploding. One last-minute decision changed history. And there you have it, 20 weird facts about Men in Black that prove this movie was even more chaotic behind the scenes than on screen. So next time you watch Men in Black, you won't just see a sci-fi comedy. You'll see every bizarre decision, every painful sacrifice, and every hidden detail that made this movie a classic. If you enjoyed this, make sure to like and subscribe for more videos that reveal the secrets Hollywood tried to keep hidden. And comment below which fact shocked you the most.